Good evening and welcome to the banquet. Wasn't that a wonderful meal? Let's show appreciation. One of our traditions at the beginning of the banquet festivities is to introduce the elected officers and some of the people up here at the reserve tables. So I'm going to do that, and so that people at the far end can see who we're talking about, I do ask that when we do call your name, please stand. But everyone, please hold your applause until we get to the end. I'll hold up and hey, Jason Heaton, was that you? Was it really? Wow. All right, so first let me introduce to you our officers. President-elect, Walina McCulley. No applause. I know, she's fantastic, but I know, it's hard. Past President, Dale Brown. Clapping. Thank you. Secretary, Dan Tell. Treasurer Sherry Adams, and IPS Representative Mike Smale. Now you can clap for the officers. We have an amazing group of people here, like representing our hosts and our host institution. I know it's going to be really hard not to clap after each of these. But please do stand or at least give a good wave. Shannon Small. Shannon Small. That actually is hard for me to say. You'd think I'd have practice by now. And her husband Chris. Shane and his wife Jen. And she's like, oh, I'm never doing this again. John French. Bob Victor, and our Spitz lecturer, David Batch, and his wife, Paula. Let's show our appreciation for these amazing people. But it takes a lot of people to run this organization year-round. These people have put in so much time lately, but there are things that go on behind the scenes all year round. And so I'd like to introduce you to and make sure you know who the current executive committee members are. Actually, let's just have them all stand right now, please. No clapping. Executive committee members that have not been introduced as officers. Tom, nice job of standing. So we've got Gary Tomlinson, Conference Planning, Bart Benjamin, Publications, Dave Leake, Development, Paulette Epstein, Membership, and Peggy for Education. Did I miss anybody? Oh, Tom, yeah. Tom for Technology. Now is that everybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Let's show our appreciation for all the hard work that these guys are doing. There are lots of other roles that people are serving in, and for these, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to call off a bunch of people, and when I call them off, just stand. Again, we'll wait to show our appreciation for everybody all at once. It's going to be by position, and I want to do the first one separate so that we can show our appreciation separately. You can clap after this one because she is another one of those people that has been working very intensively for the past couple of months and is helping out year-round. Our conference registrar, Janet. She does so much work that I've had a couple of people actually assume that she gets paid. She does not. So our thanks is all that she gets for that. So please continue to pass on our appreciation. We're going to double your salary in appreciations. All right, so could the rest of these people just stand and we'll applaud as we go along. Current committee chairs, including state chairs, paper and poster, workshop coordinator, door prize coordinator, GLPA gear manager, conference photographers, plural, videographers, plural, historian, proceedings editor, registrar, we just did that one, and we've already done our conference hosts. But wait, I thought you were going to be standing as I was doing that. I look up and there's nobody standing. All those people, please stand and let's show our appreciation. For these lovely table decorations, I don't want to hear any squabbling now or later, but there's no like magic sticker underneath the seats or anything. You just have to work it out. No violence. Remember our code of conduct. All right. So, not now.
That's a microaggression.
So if you just did that, actually you did that really well. All right, nice job. If not, please impress us later with your cooperation. It is also my pleasure to list for you our sponsors. You know how much they do for us. Many of us do come to these conferences. At least, 30 to 50% of the reason is to see what our sponsors have to show us this year. And the sponsorship, the money that they provide to our conference, does reduce our registration and helps us to have great food like we've had at this conference. Please hold your applause, but if we could just call out the companies. When I finish, I'm going to ask any sponsor members that are here to stand, and we'll show our appreciation for everybody that's here and all of the sponsors that are not here. At the Parallel Universe level, Ash Enterprises, no clapping. See, I caught you that time. That's Parallel Universe, Ash Enterprises. Universe level, Spitz Incorporated, Goto Incorporated, Seiler Instrument, Clark Planetarium, Skyscan. At the Galaxy level, Mirage 3D, Skis, RSA Cosmos, Nice Network, Laser Fantasy, Astrotech Manufacturing, Audiovisual Imagineering, Evans and Sutherland, Digitalis Education Solutions. It's so wonderful to have so many sponsors. At the solar system level, Reef Distribution, Milwaukee Public Museum, Chroma Cove, the Illuminati. At the planet level, California Academy of Sciences, Longway Planetarium, and Sudican Planetarium. Any representatives from those sponsors, please stand. Let's show our appreciation. And now, the most somber part of the evening. We do know of two of our family, as we like to think of it, who have passed away this year. One of them, Clayton Hopper, we already heard Astrotech, the staff last night, speak more completely than I ever could for Clayton. But I would like to have David Ryan come up, and he's going to just say a couple of words. Another person that we lost this year is James Marin. And Tom, can you bring up that picture?
It's just push the next button on the computer in front of you.
Do I have to do everything?
Yeah, don't ask me to do it because I have no knowledge of technology. There we are. Thanks. Well, when I first got involved in planetariums back in the late Paleozoic, I was very fortunate to cross paths in Grand Rapids with the president of the local astronomy club, Jim Marin, who was not only a really fine person, but also somebody who had a great propensity for thinking and was also an excellent speaker and an amateur actor, all of which can be useful when you're looking for somebody to do the weekend shows other than you. And so he was the first person I brought on staff when I took over in Grand Rapids in 1964. And he not only was very, very supportive of the planetarium and just a faithful associate with lots of good ideas, but he also accompanied me through the snowstorm on the way to Lansing in November of 1964 for the gathering of planetarium folk from around the Midwest that would be the seeds for the organization that exists today. And we traveled through that snowstorm. A whole hour's drive normally from Grand Rapids took us about 2.5 hours. Horrible early season snowstorm. And I kept lamenting to Jim all the way down there that nobody will be there. Well, that's when I first learned about the fortitude of planetarium people. There were folks from Ohio, there were folks from Indiana, there were folks from Illinois that had to come a lot farther than we did who made it. And Jim was part of that group. He also, at the inaugural conference a year later in Grand Rapids, gave a paper. He was part of the organization probably for the better part of a decade, and was one of those people that was just very, very unique, using his wonderful talents. One last item, the James C. Bean Observatory, a project that we undertook at our institution with the Grand Rapids Astronomy Association, would not have happened if it hadn't been for Jim and his wife Evelyn, because they allowed us to build that facility on their property and leased us access to it for 99 years, something that they would regret over and over and over. But Jim did have health problems over the last decade or so. He made it to the 50th anniversary conference for the banquet in 2015, and I will miss him both as a friend and as a colleague, and certainly a benefactor in many ways to my career. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. In case anybody was not with us last night, so Clayton Hopper was a big part of Astrotech and involved in GLPA a while ago. So let's take a moment of silence just in memory. Thank you very much. We now have the honor of presenting some awards. And we have quite a list tonight. I promise I'm trying not to press lots of buttons on the keyboard as I lay my iPad down, but we all know what happened when I was holding my iPad. Our first item is really to remind people that you can nominate people for awards. In fact, all of these awards tonight, except for one, did not come from the executive committee. It came from members. And just note that the awards, those nominations, there are forms, and guidelines on the website, and they're due on the vernal equinox. Or before, yes. Thank you for that clarification. Our first award that we'll be giving out tonight, I'm going to read 3 names. Please hold your applause until I read these 3 names, and then as they're coming up, I'll explain a little bit about this award. We are awarding fellow status to the following 3 people: Carrie Berglund, Anna Green, and Peggy Hernandez. So you get to stand here a little awkward, I guess. It's a little shorter path than I had anticipated. Or they clapped longer than I thought. I'm not sure which. But this fellow award recognizes a member's professional status and significant contributions to the Great Lakes Planetarium Association. The fellow award is given to members who have made significant contributions to the organization. You can tell that, right? You know who you're seeing here. Have made significant contributions to your organization and been a member for 10 consecutive years or 5 consecutive years and substantial contributions. So once again, let's honor them with our applause. Congratulations. Next, we would like to honor people with the Honorary Life Membership Award. This is given to retired members for exemplary career contributions to planetarium education and the Great Lakes Planetarium Association. The first Honorary Life Membership we would like to give out goes to someone who has served as Secretary Treasurer, President, was our first webmaster, and is tonight's Spitz Lecturer. Dave Batch. Next up is someone that you'll know who I'm talking about as soon as I say it, is our publication chair and has recently done his 123rd issue of the newsletter, Bart Benjamin. And last, but certainly not least, someone who has served as education chair for many years, workshop coordinator for several years, state chair for several years, Dave DeReamer. We also, on not necessarily a regular basis, but when it comes up, have a service award. The service award recognizes exceptional and or long-term service, in this case both, to the Great Lakes Planetarium Association. Our photographer for many years, Dan Goins. Very lovely award.
It's hard to believe that someone in a 20-foot planetarium dome can make it this far.
No, it's not hard to believe. We have a mentor award. This award honors those who spend a great deal of effort and countless hours mentoring students and or others in the planetarium field, people who consistently provide encouragement and opportunities to become involved in the planetarium profession, thereby promoting the quality and continuity of the profession. For the first one, I'm just going to say his name, and while we are giving this person our honor of applause, we have some people who would like to come forward and say a few words. Our mentor award goes to Bob Allen. Bob, you have to come up too. I'm not delivering. You have to come up here. They are coming up, but you'll be here too. It'll be a nice photo moment.
I just want to thank Bob Allen for being my astronomy teacher and letting me work in the planetarium under his guidance, showing me that I could actually tutor students that needed help in astronomy, giving me the opportunity, and being a lifelong friend in the planetarium business. So thank you, Bob. Thank you so much.
We all worked at UW La Crosse under Bob Allen, and I'm the middle child. Dave's the oldest, and Sean's the youngest. So people often come up to me, and I'm sure you've all felt this. They go, "Oh, how did you get such a cool job?" And I go, "Well, I loved astronomy, and I had a few breaks, and." Come on, Dad. But the biggest thing is, so I tell them, I love astronomy like you all do, and all of that, and I had a few breaks, and it's very fortunate. But I also say at the end of it, I had a great mentor, Bob Allen.
One side note, Bob asked me to work in the planetarium, and he did it at a local tavern. Back when the drinking age was 18, I think, but I'm not sure.
So I met Bob starting off as a freshman in college, and I had the bug for the planetarium business. But I have to say one of the best things was that Bob gave all of us a chance to be a part of the team. He didn't make all the decisions. He asked us our opinions. He got us involved. He let us express our interest and be a part of something bigger. And that was the most meaningful thing, and especially to someone who was, hard to believe, back in the day, very shy and a little bit scared of things. He really made a big difference and has been a lifelong friend and extremely inspiring over the years in terms of how he used the dome and inspired us to push it farther and do more with it. Thank you, Dad.
I'll try and make it short and sweet. I can't make a long story short, but first of all, I'm so proud of all three of these. They've gone beyond what I ever did. Each of them in their own separate ways. I'm so proud of them. My first clip, I was in grad school in Ann Arbor in the late 60s. Bob Victor had already graduated from there as a teaching assistant under Dr. Hazel Lush. 400 students in Astronomy 1 in the fall and spring, 400 in Astronomy 2. She put through 8 teaching assistants a year. And proud of Dave Batch, I don't think he was a TA, but was a graduate student with me at Ann Arbor. And so my roots, I have some Michigan roots, even though I've been in Wisconsin for many years. My first GLPA was 1969. How many of you remember or knew Maxine Harstick? She was a carrier. Bob took her position when she retired. And I'm proud to say I've had the same professional job for all those years. I taught and ran the planetarium as a release position for 33 years, had the planetarium part-time for 3 years, retired, moved to Tampa area where I grew up. We came back to Wisconsin, and I'm on my 7th year of being just planetarium director, so 40 plus years under the dome, and I love it. Thank you.
And we have another mentor award. We have a lot of amazing mentors in this organization. This mentor, go ahead and applaud after his name, and we have some people that are going to come up and speak to his mentoring as well. David Hurt. Not a big surprise though. Hopefully it's a surprise for him though.
Okay, so I first met David in 1992 when he pulled into Edinburgh in the Dodge, was it a Dodge Colt?
Dodge Colt.
Yeah, what year? And so I was his first helper, planetarium assistant, and so a lot of time has passed since then, and excuse me. Now I have my own planetarium, very successful, I would say, and thanks to David. So you deserve the award. Congratulations.
I first met David in actually in 2001, I believe, or 2000. And was calling him up, trying to reach into him to find out what the book was going to be so I could get it in Braille. Here to find out that he had one. And it was the best that I've actually used up to that point and even to this point in the day. He's gone on, as we all know, to develop a whole bunch of tactile stuff. Would not be for him if, for me, that I love astronomy just because of what he's been able to put out and strengthen my knowledge base. And I'm honored to call him a friend and a mentor and a colleague.
I first met David Hurd in 2014 when he hired me as his graduate assistant at his planetarium. And I still remember those early training days when he he popped me behind the console of his Spitz A3P, and he said, push all the buttons, turn all the knobs, just figure out what they do, except the one marked.
I still don't know.
Except the one marked for session, right? Yeah. Except that I did, twice at least. And that would have been incredibly intimidating, except for his infectious enthusiasm, and any misstep I ever took was always met as a learning experience. And he is also the reason why I came to my first GLPA conference, and even though I'd only been at the job for 3 months, I knew that this is where I belonged. And he has always known the importance of bringing students here, not only to introduce them to our community, but also to give them an opportunity to find their voice in a professional setting, which I'm only just now discovering the real importance of that. Maybe that's the hallmark of a real mentor. I'm still learning from him to this day in ways that he probably doesn't even realize. So I can't go into all those, obviously, I don't want to hold you up, but two things that I really think about when I think about what I've learned from David Hurd, to always be humbled by my successes and to be grateful for the lessons I learn in my failures. So, thank you.
So I'm his most recent mentee, I guess, and I'm actually his first advisee. He's never been an advisor in his 25 plus years of teaching at the university, so I'm his first advisee. He still has no idea what he's doing. We have to go to our department chair. My story is basically the same as Tiffany's, except for a year later, where he just threw me into the console. But what I like about him being as a mentor is that, he doesn't care about the planetarium. When he's being a mentor, he cares about me as a person in my studies. If when I was having a hard time sophomore year, he told me to just forget the planetarium. Don't even come in if you're not going to get your work done. And that's really important as a mentor, to make sure you're doing your work first, especially as a student, college students. And so, yeah.
Do I have to say something? I'm very humbled, and I guess I'm just as good as my students are, and I've been blessed with some fantastic students through the years, and so I feel very blessed to be in this profession and to have such great students that make me look good. So,
We were able to pull this off without him even knowing, which
yeah.
is even
Oh dear, Roger, that's surprising. So anyway, thank you all. This is quite an honor.
Our next award is GLPA's highest honor, the Galileo Award. It recognizes persons of exemplary leadership at the national and/or international level. Persons nominated for this award need to have been a GLPA member in good standing for at least 10 consecutive years. This will not be a problem. They are persons who have done exemplary work within GLPA and have carried this work beyond our regional borders. The recipient of this award tonight is a fellow, a charter member. He was awarded honorary life member in 2001. He has presented a paper at 13 conferences. He also provides astronomy outreach to clubs, and his work on a widely distributed sky calendar that you may have heard of has touched millions of lives. Bob Victor. Be careful with this award. It's really heavy. But congratulations. Would you like to say anything?
I hope you get a lot of clear skies in your lifetime and see the things that are coming up. Our October issue, the 50th anniversary, is actually kind of a lull. That's why I decided I'd better do some others before and after. And it's almost killing me here, but got a few more months coming up of much more exciting. Well, the ones coming up are mostly morning events, so I don't know how exciting that is to you, but it is to me. And hope you're around, a lot of you, for the 2061 apparition of Halley. We already had talk about that, but I put the bug in John's ear about getting a planetarium program together, ready by 2023 when Halley reaches aphelion, and it could be the time when people who are going to be around in 2061, as well as those of us who probably or will definitely not be, in the planetarium dome to share the beauty of that apparition. It'll be a good one, even though it won't be very close to Earth. The timing is good. And hope we can put together a program for that. And lots of other things coming up. 5 bright planets in August, September 2040 in the evening sky. Low, but doable. So maybe we could do some sky calendars ahead of time, because I'm kind of old by then. But I'd still like to share it. Thank you. Yes, I acknowledge too the help that I've gotten from others in the past and present. John does the diagrams actually, even when I write the calendar or design it. And others like Jenny Pond, Dave Batch, carry the load, and thank you very much. This is shared. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, wait a minute, Bob. You know, a lot of you know that Bob spends an awful lot of time at the planetarium, and it does get kind of cold. He's always complaining about how cold it is in the planetarium, and especially in the library where he pretty much lives. Yeah. But we don't want to admit that. But so we've got him something special to hopefully help keep him warm for his next summer. And this October, it's the 50th anniversary month of Sky Calendar. That's why we printed it on gold paper. And if you notice, it's on gold paper, the 50th anniversary. So thanks a lot, Bob.
Thank you. Well done.